Mike is a very special individual, brilliant man. And, he was able to, I think, lead us in a lot of directions tonight that were appropriate and really helpful. And if the President of the United States, present President of the United States, would listen to Mike Pompeo, he would be in a lot better shape than he is right now. But unfortunately, he's not listening to Mike Pompeo. He's going to be listening to others.
There's nobody like Mike Pompeo. No one has done more for Israel. He put together the team, an extraordinary team, people who were so critical and doing so much for Israel. And when you compare it to where we are today, it's extraordinary.
Enlightening experience to hear him speak. And we're just so happy that he was here tonight, and I'm privileged and honored that he was here.
We're here tonight to meet together as supporters of Israel, but also to honor Mike Pompeo, our former Secretary of State, a man of intelligence and vision and conviction, the kind of man that we need at a time like this.
I think Mike Pompeo has a big future. It's not going to be just what you heard tonight. I mean, he's clearly interested in having a future himself. He's not just holding back. Okay, I mean, he's here because he wants to become obviously a lot more than Secretary of State. So, to that end, halavai. I mean, that would be great if he wants to become President of the United States someday and he can make it. That would be great.
When I think about somebody who stood behind his principles, stood for what he believed in, stood with us, no matter what that meant, it makes me proud. It makes me proud to be here to honor him. And I can't even begin to compare him to his successor, who is a self-proclaimed, self-hating Jew. It just scares me what could happen or what is happening in Iran. And I think in any arena that we would be doing so much better with a man like Pompeo.
Today, we are in a position where Israel has never been more in danger existentially than in its history. We have a deal coming on with Iran. We have a deal which is basically designed to endow terrorism for the next 25 years. What are we doing here? We're basically endowing for the future terrorism. We're allowing a nuclear bomb to come about in no less than 3 years. No one at all is screaming and yelling. No one is saying that this has to stop. No one is picketing Washington. None of the people in the Middle East, that coalition that's being put together, is doing enough to raise the flag, to understand that this is not something that the world will be able to deal with. No deal is better than a bad deal. And that has to be brought home by the world at large, and all leaders need to start yelling and screaming, particularly the ones that are in Israel.